Welcome to DDReg Knowledge Capsule, and welcome, listener, to another deep dive. Today, we're plunging into something, well, frankly, fundamental to our health future. Connected medical devices. I mean, these aren't just cool gadgets. We're talking wearables, sure, but also complex hospital equipment, things keeping people alive. They've really revolutionized healthcare. Real-time monitoring, data-driven decisions. It sounds amazing. Pure progress. But there's always a but, isn't there, this connectivity. It opens up some pretty significant cybersecurity risks.
And that's precisely the paradox, you know? The benefits are huge, transformative even. Better diagnoses, more targeted treatments. But that same connection makes them vulnerable. And we're not talking small technical glitches. A breach here. It could directly impact patient safety, expose incredibly sensitive data, even shut down hospital operations. It's really about human impact, which makes this, well, critical for everyone involved in healthcare today.
You absolutely nailed it. The stakes are incredibly high. So our mission for this deep dive is to really unpack this. Explore how these devices are changing things. Look at the threats. Shine a light on the regulations meant to protect us, and, importantly, figure out the best ways to manage these risks. What should you know to be really informed? Let's find out. Okay, so let's start with the revolution part. These connected devices, they're seemingly everywhere in healthcare now, right? Think about continuous glucose monitors sending data to a phone, or smart inhalers tracking usage. Even surgical robots, it's not science fiction anymore. It offers convenience, helps manage chronic conditions, gives doctors just so much real-time data.
It's definitely a leap forward. It's an amazing wave of innovation, absolutely. But as they get more common, more complex, the challenges for manufacturers really ramp up. Our sources show that, especially now in 2024, manufacturers are wrestling with three main cybersecurity issues. First is just asset management, keeping track of everything.
Asset management. You mean just knowing what devices a hospital has?
Exactly. Imagine a hospital, thousands of devices, old x-ray machines, new smart pumps, some moving, some fixed. Many weren't built with today's networking or security in mind. So just knowing what's connected, where it is, its software status, it's a huge task, often manual, believe it or not, and one unpatched or lost device. That could be the weak link for the whole network, a direct patient care risk.
Wow, okay. Just knowing what you have is challenge number one. What's next?
Second, and this is a big shift, is integrating security right into R&D, research and development. Historically, security was often kind of tacked on at the end, a patch here, a fix there. But now they have to shift left, basically build security in from the very beginning. First line of code, initial design, it means rethinking the whole process. New skills, rigorous testing, a whole cultural change to prioritize security with function.
Right, not just as an afterthought.
Precisely. And it's tough because it means investing up front, being proactive, not just reacting after something goes wrong.
Okay, so track everything, build security in from the start. That sounds like a massive undertaking already. What's the third challenge?
The third one, and this often creates friction with the others, is maintaining operational efficiency. How do you add strong security without slowing down care? Or making devices frustrating for doctors and nurses? Think about it needing complex logins during an emergency. That's dangerous. So they need security that's effective, but also seamless. It has to enhance care, not hinder it. A really tricky balance.
That's a powerful combination of challenges. Asset tracking, fundamental redesign, and keeping things working smoothly in high-pressure situations. They're so interconnected, too. It really highlights the complexity manufacturers are facing. It's not a simple fix at all. Okay, so given these huge challenges, it's pretty clear manufacturers can't just handle this alone, especially with lives on the line. Who's stepping in? What are the rules? Who's ensuring safety here?
You're absolutely right. Regulatory bodies are definitely stepping up, and quite significantly. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, for instance, has been very active. They've put out final guidance that really emphasizes cybersecurity for medical devices. And this isn't just suggestions. It outlines specific information manufacturers must include in pre-market submissions.
Pre-market, so before the device even gets approved for use.
Exactly. Security has to be proven before it hits the market. It forces that security by design approach we talked about. It's a prerequisite now.
That feels like a major step. Has the FDA gotten specific about where the risks lie?
They have, and this makes it very concrete. They've specifically flagged cybersecurity risks in certain patient monitors. We're talking devices tracking vital signs, heart rate, oxygen, the core stuff clinicians rely on. Pointing this out highlights the real potential for unauthorized access, maybe data manipulation, or even stopping the device from working. It shows the tangible threat. It's not just theoretical.
That really brings it home. Okay, so the FDA is focused on the device itself getting to market safely. But what about the data after it leaves the device? Or the systems it connects to? Is that covered too?
Great question. And yes, it extends beyond the device hardware. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, has also stepped in, proposing new measures focused on protecting the broader healthcare data. That's your electronic protected health information, or EPHI.
Right, the really sensitive stuff, your medical history, diagnoses.
Exactly, stuff you can't just change like a password if it gets stolen. It's incredibly valuable to criminals for fraud, identity theft, requires top-level protection. So HHS has proposed some concrete mandatory measures, things like multi-factor authentication, MFA.
MFA, like we use for banking. 2 steps to log in.
Precisely, more than just a password. Now, implementing that across diverse, sometimes old healthcare systems and devices, that's a huge challenge itself. Then there's network segmentation. Think of it like watertight compartments on a ship.
Okay, I like that analogy.
If one area gets breached, say the billing system, segmentation stops the attack spreading to critical patient care areas, like the ICU network. It contains the damage.
That makes a lot of sense, isolating the problems.
What else? And crucially, encryption of patient data. This means even if someone does manage to steal the data, it's scrambled, unreadable, basically useless to them without the key. These HHS measures aim to protect your information across the whole system, from the device to the server during transmission.
So for you, the listener, why are these HHS things so critical? It sounds like it's about what happens if a breach does occur. Despite everything, even if they get in, MFA makes it harder to move around, segmentation limits the blast radius, and encryption makes stolen data unreadable.
Exactly. It's that layered defense. Encryption is like the last line, protecting your privacy even if the outer walls are breached. A vital safety net for your personal info.
Okay, this is getting really interesting. We have the risks, the regulations. But what are people actually doing about it? What are the concrete steps, the best practices that organizations and manufacturers are using or should be using to tackle these risks? Let's get into the solutions playbook.
Right, the practical side. Our sources point to 5 key best practices for mitigating these risks. First, establishing robust risk management processes. And this isn't a one-and-done check. It means ongoing threat assessments, deep vulnerability analysis, and having mitigation strategies that can adapt as threats change. Security is dynamic.
So constantly spanning the horizon for trouble and adjusting defenses.
Pretty much. Second, as we mentioned, is truly integrating security into the development lifecycle. That shift left idea again. Building security in from the very start. Architecture, code, testing. It's proactive. It's like building a strong foundation for a house, not trying to fix cracks later. Catches flaws when they're easiest and cheapest to fix.
Build it right the first time. Makes sense. But new threats pop up all the time, right?
Yeah.
How do they deal with that after launch?
Exactly. Which leads right to the third practice. Conduct regular security testing and audits. Security isn't static. You need continuous testing. Things like penetration testing, ethical hacking to find holes, and regular vulnerability scanning. It has to be routine throughout the device's life, constantly looking for and fixing weaknesses before attackers find them. It's kind of an arms race. You have to keep testing your defenses.
Okay, constant vigilance through testing. What's number 4?
Fourth is to ensure compliance with regulatory standards, following those FDA and HHS guidelines rigorously, and not just as a checkbox for legal reasons. These standards represent collective knowledge, a baseline for good security. Adhering to them lifts the security posture for everyone. It builds trust.
Right, using the regulations as a framework for better security. The first 4 seem focused internally on the device or the company. What about the bigger picture?
That brings us to the 5th, and it's crucial. Enhancing collaboration across stakeholders. This isn't just a manufacturer's problem, or just a hospital's, or regulators. It demands real, open collaboration, sharing threat info, coordinating incident responses, tackling emerging threats together. A united front helps everyone learn faster, adapt quicker, and implement stronger, more consistent security across the board. It's a shared responsibility.
That's a really comprehensive set of practices, and I like how it moves from individual actions to that collective industry-wide effort. Each step, building it in, testing, complying, collaborating, it all circles back to protecting you, the patient. It shows a maturing approach, doesn't it? So we've covered the challenges, the rules, the best practices. What does this all point to for the future? Is this mainly a U.S. focus, or are we seeing this kind of push globally?
That's a key question. And looking wider, yes, we're absolutely seeing a global commitment forming around this. We've talked about the FDA's work here in the US identifying monitor risks, the pre-market requirements. That vigilance continues. And the proposed HIPAA updates from HHS further strengthen the focus on protecting health information domestically.
But internationally.
Internationally, yes. A major development is the European Union's Cyber Resilience Act. This is big. It will require manufacturers of all digital products, including medical devices sold in the EU, to boost cybersecurity across the entire product lifecycle.
Entire life cycle. So not just before selling it.
Exactly. From concept and design through manufacturing, deployment, updates, vulnerability management, right up until it's decommissioned, it mandates ongoing security support for the whole time the product is in use. It's a huge shift toward long-term responsibility. And because the EU market is so large, this effectively sets a new global standard.
Wow. Okay, so the EU is really pushing for cradle-to-grave security. What's the big takeaway then from all these global actions and evolving rules?
The key takeaway is that this demands continuous vigilance and adaptation. There's no finish line here. The threat landscape is constantly changing, becoming more sophisticated. It really is an ongoing race. The entire industry, manufacturers, providers, regulators, has to proactively embed security into everything they do. Continuous improvement isn't optional. It's about staying ahead to safeguard care in our connected world.
Which means for you, listening, understanding this ongoing effort is key. It helps build confidence, but also empowers you to ask the right questions about your devices and data. Continuous learning for everyone involved. So to wrap up our deep dive, securing connected medical devices. It's not just about ticking regulatory boxes. It's absolutely fundamental to modern healthcare. It underpins patient safety, data privacy, and ultimately our trust in these vital technologies.
Couldn't agree more. Adhering to robust security, following those comprehensive guidelines, fostering that deep collaboration, it's all essential to protect patients as technology becomes even more woven into our care and our lives.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Beyond the tech and the rules we've discussed today, what happens as these devices get smarter, maybe even act autonomously? How does our trust evolve then, when technology isn't just connected, but making decisions about our health? That's a profound question about our future partnership with technology, demanding ongoing thought. Something to mull over. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. Stay curious and stay informed.